The city plays hide and seek among her names. Yerushalayim, El-Quds, Salem, Jeru, Yeru. All the while whispering her first Jebusite name, Yevus, Yevus, Yevus in the dark. She weeps with longing, Ilia Capitolina, Ilia, Ilia. She comes to any man who calls her at night, alone. But we know who comes to whom.
Jerusalem is the capital of not only of the Israelis, and not only of the people who live here is important. It's a capital, an important city to the entire world. Certainly to the Jews, Jerusalem is the second capital to wherever they live. If they live in New York, or they live in London, or they live in Paris, Jerusalem is the second city. I think Jerusalem is very important to the Christians and to the Muslims, and everybody wants to see the city beautiful and flourishing. We are trying to create bridges between the different communities. We are trying to combine the different people and teach them good neighborly relationship. We are not talking about love. It's not a question of love. Just to be able to understand your neighbor, to live and to let live. That's what we are trying to achieve in the city.
When I was little, I always heard about Arabs that they're bad and they're not nice, and I came here and I see it's all different. I mean, it's good to work with them, and they're not bad, and they're people, they're not monsters.
You have to work with them. You live between them, and you have to speak with them.
They're people like me and you, they're so like us, and there's nothing different about them.
Here, art plays a very serious role. It is used as a common language between the two populations. If we hear an Arab speaking Arabic, it's a claim to their culture and religion, and that separates us. The language of art we create here actually gives everyone a worthwhile opportunity to explore their artistic talents, and so all the separation between people that exists due to politics, different cultures, religion, and all the conflict which surrounds us moves to the side and actually allows room for the real person to come out.
This is a dream. Who boy sleep on the bed, and he flew with the bed on the sky.
It's supposed to do a room, but it doesn't look like a room.
Yeah.
Let's say this is the table, but it's like a tree.
The Djenogli Center really helps the children to think differently about peace, about speaking to one another. It's really wonderful. I was born in Syria. When I was a girl of 8 or 9 years old, we walked through the mountains all the way to Israel. We left our village one morning and walked all the way to Beirut. There we were met by a group that was bringing Jews to Israel.
Beit Bayer means for Jerusalem the main home for the aged, which is providing services for the people who cannot afford any other kind of a home for the aged. We provide services for well-aged people, for frail people, and for skilled nursing and cognitive impaired people.
We didn't sleep, we sat up the whole night. At 3 in the morning, we got up. It's our group and 1 donkey, and we are 10 people. We traveled all night and all day. The next day at 4 in the morning, we began again. The sun was hot, there was no water and no food. And we traveled for 2 days and finally arrived in Tzfat.
I think that we work much better from the Neshume point of view. And every one of the elderly can be one of the parents of us.
Upon our arrival, my mother picked a flower, folded it into a letter to the family in Syria. My father was still there, and it said, "Come to the Garden of Eden. Israel is the Garden of Eden." And they came.
It's our nation, it's our people, and every one of us feels a very, very deep commitment to take care about our elderly.
When I couldn't function, I came to Beit Bayer, the most beautiful place in all of Jerusalem.
Gloria al Padre, al Figlio e allo Spirito Santo. Ti adoriamo Cristo e ti benediciamo.
The Jerusalem Foundation decided that our project for the millennium will be the renovation of the Via Dolorosa, perhaps the holiest Christian site in Jerusalem. Via Dolorosa is Jesus' last walk between the place that he was convicted and crucified. There are 14 stations along the Via Dolorosa. 9 are in the Old City, the rest of them are in the Holy Sepulchre Church. An important part of the renovation included the illumination of the Via Dolorosa, so pilgrims are able to walk the route at night when it's not so crowded as now, plus illumination of elements of architectural interest. We sandblasted the stone, we renewed the pavement.
It is the beginning of Christianity. It is like walking the path of history.
It is the cradle of Christianity, the Judeo-Christian religion.
More than 140,000 Arab population in East Jerusalem are getting the benefits of the services of this clinic. A lot of children who were dying in the past because of the lack of these services, now these kids are getting the benefits of this clinic, and they get actually the opportunity to live a good life and a healthy life.
What happens is that we can come here now when the child is sick or needs a checkup. Not a week passes without visiting the clinic. Sometimes I come to the clinic 2 or 3 times for the children or for treatment myself.
The combination of the Arab and the Jewish patients to come together in this clinic also created a nice and good atmosphere for sitting together, talking together, knowing each other more than before.
What makes the Jerusalem Zoo more unique is the visitors, our visitors. And don't forget that we are in Jerusalem. The Jerusalem Zoo is maybe the only places in the city that all the version of the population arriving to visit the zoo. And I mean all. I speak about religious and seculars. I speak about ultra-Orthodox Jews and Reforms and Conservatives. I'm speaking about Arabs and Jews. The zoo has a special function. This is a meeting place for all the population of Jerusalem.
There's lots of grass, it's very pretty, it's very calm. It's nice, it's like a little safari in the middle of the city.
I enjoy it here. It's a big place, there's a lot to see, and the children never tire from what they see. And last week I was here 4 times. It's fun to be here. Simply, there is so much for the kids to do. Also, there are games, animals to learn about, the fresh air. Instead of staying at home, it allows us to get out.
I'm Ronnie, I'm 16, and I'm from Seker family.
I'm Anat, and I'm 15, and I'm from religion family.
I'm Shachar, I am 15 years old, and I'm religious.
I'm Adi, I'm 15 and a half, and I come from a secular family.
We are now introducing the subject of the theater as a means of getting religious and secular Jews together. I believe that through the theater, we can establish this, and it's a fact that after 2.5 years, it's working.
We're the future. We're going to be grown up someday, and we will have the effect on the society.
Here I learned to know the religious people and to connect with them.
We met each other and we talk, and then we saw that we are all the same.
We really discussed things that matter, things that were, well, problematic for both sides, and this is the only place it happened.
I found out that there are also teenagers like us.
Jerusalem is divided completely between religious and secular. For us performing in front of other religious schools and for them to see that religious and secular kids are performing, doing theater, and nobody gets hurt by it was a big achievement. And so we chose a play to unite them. You can be religious, you can be secular, but you're all Jewish. They're only 15, but they're solving the problem by being together without even talking about it. What we tried in this play is to show them that you are united. You're Jews against racism.
What the Jerusalem Foundation is trying to do in its own way is to create a caring society that looks after the whole range of populations of the people of Jerusalem, whether it's the young or whether it's the very old, whether it's Palestinian or whether it's Israeli, whether it's Christian or whether it's Muslim. And if anything, the Jerusalem Foundation is a community foundation devoted to social change. If you nourish Jerusalem, you nourish yourselves. You nourish your children and your grandchildren. You continue something that the Jewish people, and people around the world for that matter, have held dear for millennia.
For the sake of Zion, I will not be silent. For the sake of Jerusalem, I will not be still.